Let's talk now, then, about the improve render function, one of the most used functions here in Redraw. And right from the start, I'm going to bring up that topic that's rarely discussed around here. Let's go straight to our V2. I don't know if you've seen it in other videos, but here we're recording a series of videos about Redraw. And this engine is basically the version of Redraw that we're using. So, for example, initially we had version 1, we brought some updates to it, but we realized it wasn't a good idea to update that function, because there were a lot of clients who used it and liked it just the way it was. So what did we do? We started releasing new versions, which is the case here with V2, and every time we wanted to release an update, we update the version. It could be that by the time you're watching this video, there's already version 1, 2, 3, and so on. So, that's how we're going to update the withdraw function. Remember that the most current version will usually have improvements and bug fixes, so it's always a good idea to test it first before you use the others, right? Sometimes you might not like V1, so you go to V2, or if you don't like V2, you go back to V1. So that's always a good thing, so you really understand the tool you're signing up for. So let's get started. Improving the render in Redraw doesn't have a lot of settings, you really just set it here. I'll start with the V2 engine, and you'll notice that the V1 engine has some issues with text, it has problems with cars, and it also struggles with faces and people in general. The V2 engine, on the other hand, was made to fix those issues. I can't really point out any downsides of the V2 engine, because it really was made to be an improvement over V1. So we end up using it a lot around here, but of course, whenever you need to, you can always go back and use the V1 engine. And here, you select your intensity. You'll notice it's a little different from the V2 engine. I'll leave it here between 8, 9, or 10, because below that, in my opinion, it barely changes my scene, and a lot of times I can't even see the difference that the withdraw made. So I'm going to click here on Generate. But it's also worth mentioning that the intensity of photorealism really depends on each project, okay? So, just because I set it to 8 here, doesn't mean you always have to set it to 8. It's a good idea to analyze and see what works best for your project. It's also important to say that in the render improvement function, we add images that are like renders. We're not going to add images that look like 3D modeling. There are some cases that are exceptions to this, and I'll even show you an example of that, but normally in the render improvement function, we use finished renders, okay? So we see a lot of people getting confused about this, using 3D modeling images in the render improvement function. Of course, you can try it out, but it often ends up being, a bit of a frustrating experiment. I think I left it as indoor environment here, but even so, our image turned out really nice. Just look at the result we got. So you can notice, check out this improvement, especially in the vegetation. Look here where my mouse is, see how much this plan improved. Look at this floor, how much better it looks. He even added a bit of dirt to make it more realistic. Look at our asphalt, how it looks more organic now, but check out the vegetation in the back, how everything looks more realistic, even the car here looks nicer, more stylish. So yeah, just look at the realism, right? Sometimes we have a render that we think can't get any better, but then you put it in Withdraw and you realize there's always something you can do to make it more interesting. And here, I'm going to click on the trash can so we can enable the mask function. As we've already talked about in some other lessons here, with the mask function, you can select only what you want to change. So, in this case, sometimes I don't want it to mess with my house, so I can select all of my context, either with the brush function here or with the mask function, just switch it using the side button there. And look, what's interesting about the mask is that you're not limited to just one selection, right? I was able to create several layers here, and then I can go back and erase these layers or modify them, so this ends up being much more interesting. In my case here, I'm selecting only the vegetation. So look, I ended up creating 3 layers in my scene here, so I can select them individually. I can click on the trash can here to remove these layers. So notice how easy it is for me to use layers here, and in this case, I selected my layer and the idea is just to improve these areas. I don't think it's that interesting in this scene because we need improvements in every aspect, but it's really up to you. Sometimes you have a space where you just want to improve a rug, just want to improve a curtain, a sofa, a specific texture, and that's what the withdraw is for, right? This mask function was developed for that. Maybe I just want to improve people sometimes. So, you use it in whatever way you find most interesting. So here, it only brought improvements to our vegetation. Let me give you an example here, then, where we have people, and I'm going to click on Generate. So we brought up this image for you to analyze, and look, notice the improvement it made to the people here. So check out this woman here, this man, this boy in the front. So it improved not just the whole scene, but another thing I want to point out to you, look at the text here. So let's do this. Let's go back to version 1 and generate this same image. Here's what I'll do. I'll open it in a new tab so we don't lose it, and let's generate this same image here. I'll set it to mode 2 so we can see the before and after, from version 1 to version 2. Take a look, then, at the result we got here with this image, and pay close attention. Oops, I ended up opening the wrong image here. Look, pay close attention to the people there. The change is that, oops, I opened it again. Look closely at the people there, see how version 2 has a significant improvement in faces. You'll see here, I'll show you a few more examples. So it could be this image here. I'll put it in V2 so you can see the improvement in the people. So, it's a feature that really brought major improvements. There's not much mystery to the improve render function, okay? Here, you'll want to use the mask and intensity settings well, adjusting them to get the result you're looking for. I'll bring more examples here for us, where we can make better use of the mask, and one thing you really need to pay attention to with this function is how you insert your project, right? Always insert renders. You'll see there are some situations where you don't necessarily have to insert a render, but it's always a good idea, right? A render that's already done. So look at the improvement it brought to our scene here. I was confused, trying to figure out why I selected my sofa and it improved everything except the sofa. Then I realized that the mask here was inverted, so I'm going to invert it again and we'll see that the result will be what I expected. This can happen to you sometimes, but the good thing is the solution is already right here. Many times, if that happens, it's just this little button down here to invert the mask, and then you'll get the result you're looking for. Look, now it improved only my sofa here, so the result was exactly what I expected. Check this out, guys. Here we used an image that's not a render, and look at the result that the improve render feature gave us. Do you see that here it wasn't strong enough to bring the improvement this image needed? This is the kind of image that will work much better with the render function, right? So, this is an example I wanted to show you. I'll even try to use it here with the improve render feature. And of course, if you were looking for those subtle improvements, right? It did make some, especially on the clothes here, but you get that this isn't really the function's main purpose, right? Or adding modeling. I'm going to set it to intensity 10 here, so we can see if the result comes out a bit stronger. So look, this was our result at intensity 10. It turned out much better, brought some really interesting changes here, but I still want to emphasize to you that this is a very specific case. What really makes sense is for us to use this in a render function, okay? So later on we can even show how this same image looks in the render function. Here in V1, in mode 2, this image already looks better, so like I said, it's definitely worth testing and it's up to you. So that's it, guys. This was our lesson on improving renders, and thanks a lot.